Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for your patience. Vic, do you need to do a mic here?
I'm good.
Okay, with the wind, do you think we're going to be okay?
Yeah, we're fine. I got
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Has everybody got what you need? Need a white balance or anything? Okay. Vic, you just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready to.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Executive Chief Matt Slinkard, Houston Police Department, and I'm here to give you a briefing on an officer-involved shooting that has occurred here this morning. I have with me Executive Assistant Chief Jim Jones, Executive Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite, several other members of our command team. Chief Fenner is on the scene. He has checked on our officers and checked on the scene and talked to everybody. I'm going to be handling the news briefing for him this morning. He's a little bit under the weather, and so thank you for your patience this morning. So at about 7:53 this morning, our dispatch received a call for what appeared to be maybe an aggressive panhandler, an aggressive male in this area that was bothering citizens or motorists. And when we got that call, we also learned that this individual possibly had a flagpole of some type and had smashed the windshield of a female driver, of a female complainant, in and around this parking lot area that we're at now. That female, fortunately, was able to get away from this suspect who was acting aggressively and had smashed her windshield. An officer arrived within really 1 minute and started looking for this individual in this area. The officer encountered that individual carrying the flagpole. As the officer encountered that individual and trying to speak to them, the suspect produced a knife. The officer broke the air with dispatch several times, indicating that the suspect had a knife and was coming at him, was charging at him, was asking for assistance, and an assist the officer called dropped at that time. Other units were en route to this area, and at some point that officer discharged his weapon, I don't know how many times, at the suspect who was yielding the knife. That officer discharged his weapon. No other officers did. That officer's a 1-year veteran approximately of the police department. The suspect was immediately rendered first aid and CPR by other responding units on the scene. Unfortunately, he was pronounced deceased by HFD here on the scene and has succumbed to his injuries. I do not have a race or an identity on the suspect, and so I cannot confirm that here this morning. Again, we have one officer involved in this shooting, approximately a 1-year veteran. No citizens are injured as part of this incident, and no officers are injured as part of this incident. We do have that female complainant whose windshield was broken by this suspect, and she will be interviewed, as well as any other witnesses that were in and around this busy intersection. We will be out here for several hours processing the scene. Also, we are joined by the Special Investigations Unit of Homicide, the Harris County District Attorney's Office, and the Houston Forensic Science Center. And we'll be out here for quite some time as we go through this incident. We're going to have multiple videos to try to retrieve and go through from local businesses, etc., so that we can get all the video evidence that may exist as part of this incident. With that, I'll yield and take any questions that you have.
We see over here at the McDonald's that there's a window that was shot through. Was it possible that one of the bullets fired by the officer hit inside of the McDonald's?
Yes, exactly right. That's what we believe. We believe that when the officer discharged, firing at the suspect, as I said, I don't know how many rounds the officer fired, but we do believe that one of those rounds likely struck that window at the McDonald's and shattered it. And it's my understanding that no one is injured, and that's very, very fortunate.
How many people were inside the McDonald's?
That I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be part of our investigation, and we'll be interviewing any witnesses that could have seen the incident.
So,
Okay.
Chief, I'm just going to confirm with you and make sure I'm hearing this right. So the officer fired several shots,
Don't know how many shots.
but
Don't know
more
if it-
than once.
We believe so, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. And
Okay.
could you tell us where the initial incident, like where the call
The
was?
initial call came to 7,699 Long Point. That was the initial dispatch call, was 7,699 Long Point at 7:53 this morning.
And this suspect was just in the middle of the road? With
That's
the
what
flagpole?
we believe. We believe acting acting in an erratic manner, acting aggressively. Obviously, used that pole to smash and actually crack somebody's windshield. That individual, obviously frightened and scared, called police, and that's when officers got en route to this location.
Are officers familiar with this individual? Has he done anything like this?
That I don't know. We haven't been able to confirm the identity of the suspect, so that will still take us several more hours this morning.
Can you talk about the mentality that officers have to go through when dealing with a subject like this, being aggressive, just so we can kind of frame the stressful situations that officers go through?
Yeah, thank you. Sure, it's very stressful, obviously. I mean, our officers go through a lot of training to deal with those who might be aggressive or violent or in mental crisis, and you never know what you might face. But obviously, situations can turn very volatile very fast. And so, and especially when you're facing a suspect that's yielding a weapon, like a bladed weapon, a knife. And so I'm sure that it was a very stressful encounter, and we're very glad that the officer is okay, and we'll be tending to his needs as well. That officer will be on administrative duty as we continue our investigation.
Would you be able to kind of go over again? So the suspect pulled out a knife this time, and then what transpired? Did the officer tell him to put down the knife?
So I don't have all those details yet. It's too early in our investigation. I do know that on at least 2 occasions our officer broke the air on his radio, indicating that the suspect had a knife and was coming at him and he needed help. And so we do know that the officer was able to ask for help and explain the situation and what was going on just prior to the shooting happening.
How's the victim doing? The woman whose windshield was shattered.
Obviously very shaken up. For somebody to approach your vehicle, shatter your windshield with a pole, that can be a very unsettling situation. And so we're glad that she's okay, and our officers and our detectives are meeting with her now.
Would you say the victim handled this situation in the best way that someone could?
Well, I think so. I mean, obviously remained in the vehicle, got out of harm's way, called the police, and was a good witness for the police to come and deal with what appeared to be an aggressive individual, possibly in some kind of mental crisis. We don't know that yet. And so I think, yes, the victim and the complainant in this handled herself very well, and we appreciate that. Okay, any other questions for this morning?
Or was she out the street?
I'm sorry?
Do we know if she was out in the street or was she in the parking lot?
I believe in the parking lot, but I can't confirm that yet. Okay. Anything else this morning? Okay, thanks for your patience. Everyone have a good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.